Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Sri Tips, and today what I plan to do is I have a couple of 10K gold hearts down here, little heart shapes for pendants that would go on a necklace. They're both full of small diamonds, 1.2 millimeter, 1.4 millimeter diamonds, and what I'd like to do, instead of digging these out, cut it away piece by piece with a pair of clippers. What I'm going to attempt to do is, this is 10K gold. I want to put this in dilute nitric, hot dilute nitric, and see if any of those base metals will come out of the 10K gold. And if it does, then I'll go to Aqua Regia refining and try to get these diamonds out of here by chemically removing them instead of cutting this stuff apart and taking the diamonds out with cutters. So today's experiment, hot dilute nitric acid to remove base metals, and then I'm going to go to Aqua Regia and dissolve the gold, recover the diamonds, and then I'll refine the gold, and whatever gold I get out of these two little hearts, it's just going to be a couple grams. I'll refine that up into some nice 3/9 fine gold, and we'll put it on my eBay store for sale. So that's what we're going to do right now. Here's our two little pieces we'll be working with today. There's a bunch of diamonds in these. This one's got 1, 2, 3, or 2 diamonds missing in it. And it's marked back here. It says 10K, but I'd like to keep this bale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and snip this and remove the bale. I'll keep that part. And then we'll go ahead and try to put some of this in dilute nitric and dissolve it. This one should be good to go. This bale is attached. I don't think I'll be able to cut that off of there, so I'll just leave that attached. So this I'm going to save aside. That can be resold. And then these two pieces here, I'll go ahead and try to hit them with some hot dilute nitric and see if I can get any base metals out of them. Alright, before we get started, I'd like to go ahead and get a weight on these two pieces. It looks like we've got 3.6 grams of 10K gold. To begin this process, I'm going to go ahead and hit these with some flame. I'm not going to get them red hot, but I'm going to burn off any oils or grease that might be on there just so they quit smoking. That's enough. Alright, now we're going to take the pieces and put them in a beaker here. Cover them with some water, about 20 or so ml. And then I'm going to put some, about this equal amount of concentrated nitric acid in there with them. I'm going to try to dissolve out the base metals here, see what happens. I've never done this before. We'll see what happens. That's 10K gold there. Put it up here on the fire, or on some heat. And we'll see what happens here. Okay, the time is 17:40, 5:40 p.m. and I just put those in nitric acid and into the onto the heat there. I'm going to let these cook for a while and see what kind of base metals I can get out of that 10K gold, if any. These have been on now for about 40 minutes, and I wasn't paying attention here, got busy doing something else, and it went down to near dryness. It didn't go all the way to dry, but it got down like it was soupy and syrupy. So I went ahead and added some more distilled water and some more nitric acid. It's about 40 minutes into the process. Alrighty, our solution has been on the heat there for about 2 hours now. And you can see most of the solution or liquid is evaporated off. I'm going to add some more concentrated nitric here and see if we can get some more of the base metals to come out of that gold before I try to hit it with some Aqua Regia. This is almost a 2 hour point. I just added that dose of nitric, about 2 ml. And as you can see here, our pieces of gold. Something's happening in there, I can't quite tell what, but I'm just going to let this stay on the heat and cook for a little while longer, see if we can get some more of the base metals to come out of this before we commit it to some Aqua Regia. Try to get those diamonds out of there. This is 7 minutes worth of video condensed into about 20 seconds. And I've got something going in the solution there. You can tell by the blue color of the solution, and there's some fumes in there. So the hot nitric is, I believe, pulling some of the base metals out of that 10K gold. We'll see what it looks like here in a few minutes. Okay, we've been on here about 2 hours and 10 minutes now. What I'm going to do is go ahead and pour this solution off, and let's have a look at what our pieces of gold look like there. Pour this off into my silver jar over here and save it. Don't see any diamonds. Our pieces of 10K gold. Don't really look like that nitric's getting in there too good, but I'm going to keep going with this nitric and see if I can get a little bit more of the base metals out of there, and just to satisfy my own curiosity, I'm going to put some more nitric in here now. Concentrated nitric acid. I probably got 20 ml of distilled water. That's another 20 ml of concentrated nitric. I'll put it back on the heat up here and let it continue to boil. What I'm going to do here is get in here with a stirring rod and see what this is doing. Oh yeah, it's crumbling apart. It's coming apart. See that? That's what I wanted to see. The pieces are falling apart from that nitric acid. Oh yeah, this is going to work out pretty good, I guess. So we got 10 karat gold crumbling in hot dilute nitric. Let's let this go ahead and continue to cook for a little while in that nitric, and see if we can get some more of the base metals come out of there. And we'll go to the Aqua Regia stage. 2.5 hours into the experiment here, and as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of buildup around the top of the boiling point there, and it's getting dehydrated, so I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to put a little bit more acid, a little bit more water in there to hydrate it. Keep going with this. I can still see a little bit of fumes in there. More nitric here. Yeah, the gold is broken up into pieces there, so there's definitely base metals coming out of it. That's about 12 ml, 10 or 12 ml of nitric there. Hi, you can see the chunks of gold. Gold is broken apart into pieces, crumbling. That means the base metals are being dissolved out of there. I'll just keep going with this a little while longer until I don't see any fumes in there. What the heck, I'm going to add some more nitric here. I'll load it up real good with some nitric acid. Get a more concentrated solution in there, see if I can get a little bit more of them base metals to come out. And that should make for a nice clean Aqua Regia refining. Okay, our solution is just about to cook off completely here and go dry. So what I'm going to do is I think we pretty much got to the point where all the base metals that I'm going to get out of there I've gotten out. So what I'm going to do now is pour this off and rinse it out, and I'm going to go to some Aqua Regia here. That's what our bits of gold look like. Try not to pour any of those diamonds off. As long as there's blue in that solution, that's base metals coming out of the gold. As long as I keep getting blue, I could probably continue with this, but I'm not gonna. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go to Aqua Regia now, and we'll try to get that dissolved and see what, see if I can get those diamonds out of there. All right, here's our gold. It's been parted with hot dilute nitric. I can see some of the diamonds down in there loose. Keep in mind, this is not the preferred way to take diamonds out of gold. That's not really the goal here. My goal was to find out whether or not I could get the gold to part with hot dilute nitric acid, 10K gold, and it appears that that's a possible way to go about this. So that was the whole goal behind this, to see if I can get the base metals out of there with hot dilute nitric. Okay, here's our gold with the diamonds in it. I've got some concentrated hydrochloric acid here. We'll go ahead and add some of that. The gold. About 25 ml of concentrated hydrochloric acid. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some sulfuric acid here, just a couple drops to precipitate out any lead that might come along with this. And then I'm going to add about 6 ml, I guess. Let's see, what is this, 2 ml? Put 4 ml of concentrated nitric acid in here, and we'll put this up on the heat and see if we can get this gold to dissolve. been about 10 minutes since I added the nitric and hydrochloric to make some Aqua Regia in there. As you can see, just about everything's gone into solution. There's our diamonds right there on the corner. So this is going to work out pretty good here. Alright, I think everything's gone into solution now. As you can see here, there's a little bit of dirt in there maybe, but I can see the diamonds. And what I'm going to do now is go ahead and set this off the heat, let it cool down, and we'll pour it through a filter and get our gold out, precipitate it, and get our diamonds out. Here we'll get a quick temperature reading here. We got 102 Fahrenheit, 39 Celsius. Add a little piece of ice here to help cool it down some. Alright, adding that ice caused a little bit of stuff to come out of solution there, probably silver. So we'll go ahead and filter this now through this little filter I got set up. Them or not, that's our diamonds, and I'll go ahead and get those out of there, dry them off, and save those. Those diamonds are probably 1 millimeter to 1.2 millimeters, something like that. We use them all the time at the jewelry repair shop. I can get $10–12 a piece for those, installing them into rings where someone has lost a stone out of their ring. Okay, I've got the diamonds here in the beaker, and I got a pipette, and I'm going to try to get them up inside the pipette. You see them in there? And I'm just going to squeeze them out on this piece of paper here. Get the next batch. Alright, I got every last diamond out of there. They're all down here in my little dish here with the paper. There's a little bit of dirt in there. I don't know what that is. That might be some precious metal, so I'll probably add the paper to my filter storage. I'll use a little bit of heat here to dry that paper off so we can recover those diamonds. We got temperature here. We got 49.6 Celsius, 121 Fahrenheit. That should do it. Alright, and I'm going to see if I can get these diamonds just kind of loosen up and come off of here. Get them down into the dish where I can collect them all. That's it, they're all in there. And there's all our diamonds. Here I have a bag that I keep my diamonds in that I take out of jewelry items, and I found that the best way to do this is just kind of moisten or dampen your finger and get them on the end of your finger like that, and just scrape them off into the bag. It's pretty effective. Just I got a little damp spot right here on this piece of paper towel. Just dampen my finger a little bit and see how they come up nice. Just squeeze them off into the bag. Those I can get up with a little piece of wax here. I just touch it with the wax and it comes right up on the wax. Scrape it off into the bag. And there's all our diamonds. Alright, now it's time to get the gold. Put this up here out of the way. We're going to pour the solution back into our beaker here. bit of sodium metabisulfite, and will precipitate out in pure gold. Sodium metabisulfite here. 1 spoon should do it. Should only be about 1.5 grams in here. Blue color there. Should turn brown here in a second. This is real time. I don't have this sped up or anything. You see turning brown right there. The gold's dropping out of solution. You should stir it up a little bit. I'm kind of curious to see how much we're going to get out of this. Gold down there at the bottom. You can see that or not. Alright, our solution has, the gold's been dropped out of it, but you can see a little bit of a greenish, yellowish tint. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dip a piece of filter paper in there. I don't think it's gold. It might be some platinum group metals. Test it with Stannis here and see what kind of result we get. And I'm getting just a slight tint of orange maybe. Alright, I'm going to pour off the waste solution into this flask here. I've got a filter set up here. Pour the waste solution right on in. And then I'll get the gold in the filter. Oops. Man. Sometimes getting these camera angles is kind of hard to do. Okay, this gold had a little bit of platinum in it, so I'm going to add some hydrochloric acid here. Hydrochloric acid, we'll rinse this off better than plain water would, since it had some platinum group metals in there with it. We'll get the gold back into the beaker down here. I'm going to add a dash of hydrochloric acid here, probably about 20 ml or so. Drops of sulfuric, just as a precaution here. Now about 4 ml of concentrated nitric acid here. It's 2. It's 4. I'm gonna get it up on the heat up here and let it dissolve for a second time. Okay, this took exactly 8 minutes to dissolve. The filter paper is completely disintegrated. All the gold is dissolved. I'm going to pull it off over here and let it cool down. Got a few chips of ice here to cool it down. Alright, this time I'm going to use vacuum filtration. Back to the beaker and go ahead and precipitate out the pure gold. Sodium metabisulfite here. I've allowed this solution to settle overnight, and as you can see, it's crystal clear with no color in it at all. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and get it into this funnel, this filter, and get it in a melt dish and melt up a bead. I'm going to pour off the waste into my temporary stock pot here. And then I want to get the gold in this filter. Let me position the camera here. It's a little better. That's our pure gold powder. I want to get this into the filter, and we'll melt it up into a little bead. Put it up for sale on my eBay store. Okay, as usual, I'll give the gold a quick rinse in the filter. A little bit of hydrochloric acid. The gold has been rinsed. Now what I'll do is put the gold and the filter into a melt dish up here. Now we'll put the melt dish down here on our melt table and go ahead and melt this up into a nice little bead. Nice little bead of pure gold. Put it over here on the scale and see what kind of weight we got on this thing. 1.5, 1.4 grams. Exactly what I was expecting from that 10K gold that we used to refine this. I'm going to call it 1.4 grams. Our gold bead had a little bit of flux that clung to it. And so I've got it in some tap water here with a couple of ml of sulfuric acid to get all that flux off. Here is our 1.4 gram bead of 24K pure gold. It's got a little bit of an irregular finish on it, but this will be 24K gold, pure gold, probably 3/9 fine. Flip it over here. Nice little clean gold, clean bead of 24K pure gold. This will conclude the diamond recovery from scrap gold jewelry using Aqua Regia video. This is the first time that I've ever attempted to do this, and I learned a couple of neat things. The first being that I can use hot dilute nitric to extract base metals from 10K gold. I didn't know that that could be done. Secondly, that the diamonds can be removed from the scrap gold jewelry using a chemical process. In this case, it was Aqua Regia. I dissolved the metal away and left the diamonds. Those acids do not hurt the diamonds. They're still good and can be used to do jewelry repairs. I've got the diamonds put up. I sorted those all out and put them in a small container. And I do have this gold bead that I got as the result of the refining of the pieces that had the diamonds in them. And what we'll be doing is listing this on my eBay store for bids. It weighs between 1.4 and 1.5 grams. I'm just going to call it 1.4 grams. And I'll get that listed on my eBay store for sale and put it up for bids. While you're looking at the bead at my eBay store, I've got a bunch of other jewelry items on there that are in real good shape. Almost, they look brand new. And I go through them at the jewelry shop and make sure that there's no loose or missing stones. All the prongs are in good shape, no loose or missing prongs. And I buff them up and clean them up, sanitize them, and offer those up for sale as a way to support me doing these videos. So if you go look at the gold bead, make sure and take a look at some of the other things that I have for sale. And if you find something on there that you might like, the prices are very low, way below retail. If you find something on there that you might like, I'd appreciate it greatly if you could make a purchase, and that way you get something nice, and then I get a little bit of money to continue my video production here on refining precious metals. This will conclude the video. Thanks for watching.